Welcome to our short video on infinitive phrases. Infinitive phrases are pretty simple, so the video will be short. Much of what is here is taken from chompchomp.com, a useful grammar website. An infinitive phrase will begin with the word to, to, and then include a verb in the infinitive unconjugated form, and then include an object or modifiers. Infinitive phrases can function as nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. Here, an example from Chomp Chomp. To finish her shift without spilling another pizza into a customer's lap is Michelle's only goal tonight. Functioning as a noun, it's the subject of the sentence there. Lakeisha hopes to win the approval of her mother by switching her major from fine arts to pre-med. They are also functioning as a noun. It's the direct object of the verb hopes, the direct object of a transitive verb. The best way to survive Dr. Peterson's boring history lectures is a sharp pencil to stab in your thigh if you catch yourself drifting off. Ouch. So here it's adjectival. It's further describing the noun way that it follows right after. Kelvin, an aspiring comic book artist, is taking anatomy and physiology this semester to understand the interplay of muscle and bone in the human body. It's describing why he's taking the course, so it's an adverb. Adverbs describe why, they also describe verbs. It's doing both there. So just don't confuse infinitive phrases with prepositional phrases that can start with to. I went to church after dinner. If the to is followed by a noun or pronoun, it's a prepositional phrase. If it's followed by a verb in the infinitive form, it's an infinitive phrase. Punctuating correctly. And these rules for punctuating phrases and clauses are fairly universal. They don't work just for infinitive phrases. They work for many types of optional phrases and clauses. If the phrase is going to come at the start of the main clause, it will be followed by a comma, separated from the main clause with a comma, like this one. If it will come in between, in the midst of a main clause, if it breaks the flow of the main clause, use a comma before and after it, like this. If it comes at the end of a main clause, you don't need a comma to precede it. Janice and her friends went to the mall to flirt with the cute guys who congregate at the food court. And that's the same for an adverb clause, for instance. It will very often come at the end of a sentence and won't be preceded by a comma in that case, but will likely be surrounded by adjectives if it's in the middle, or have an adjective at the end of it if it starts the sentence. All right, so some practice. So after I explain this quickly, I recommend pausing the video, doing it yourself, then I'll go over the answers. So is the infinitive phrase in the following sentence functioning as a noun, adjective, or adverb? These are all from Great Expectations, which you read in 10th grade at Burke if you were here. So this is a little bit hard. You don't have to worry about getting this correct right away necessarily. It can be more of a longer-term goal, but just give it a whirl. All right, so here are 3 sentences. Find the infinitive phrase, figure out how you think they're acting, noun, adjective, or adverb. So pause. All right, welcome back from pausing. Here's the infinitive phrase in the first one. It's functioning as an adverb here. It's why the narrator, Pip, went upstairs. He went upstairs in order to dress himself for that purpose. When I said that I only came to see how Miss Havisham was, here it's also acting as an adverb. It's the reason why he came. So also adverb. Infinite pains were then taken by Biddy to convey to my sister some idea of what happened. Here it's an adjective infinitive phrase. It's acting as an adjective because it's describing pains. You could also put it right after pains. You could move the whole thing here. Infinite pains to convey to my sister some idea of what happened were then taken by Biddy. All right, and then 2 sentences, same thing. These are from the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, which will be an option for you to read this year. So pause and figure out where the infinitive phrase is, and then think about how it's acting in the sentence. So pause, and welcome back. I do not remember to have ever met a slave who could tell of his birthday. Here it's acting as a noun. It's the direct object of the verb remember. It is a common custom in the part of Maryland from which I ran away to part children from their mothers at a very early age. Here, to part children from their mothers at a very early age is acting as an adjective. It's describing custom. All right, some select very advanced infinitive phrase examples, not from famous writing. I just wrote these up quickly. So the infinitive phrases can act as subjects too, and I couldn't find any examples in the different books I was looking in, so I just wrote some for you. To be fuzzy is the lot of Dexter the dog. That's my dog. So here, to be fuzzy is the subject. To be or not to be is the question. Acting as a noun, here it's the subject. You remember it from Hamlet. To succeed requires industry. Acting as a subject. To cook well is a skill I do not have. All right, your work. Emulation. So there are infinitive phrases in each of these sentences. Try to imitate the way the infinitive phrase is functioning in the sentence, and try to imitate the length of the sentence too. Try to imitate as much as you can, but change the word. Try to pattern your sentence after it. For those 5, and then go on to write your own. Write 5 additional sentences of your own that include infinitive phrases. Use them however you want. Try to use them in a variety of ways in those sentences though. And that's your infinitive phrase homework practice. See you soon.